So about 4 years ago, I received a message on LinkedIn. You know how you work in and you get a ping on LinkedIn, and it was from this lady I used to work with back in the early 2000s. It was maybe even late 90s. And she and I became really, really close. She taught me everything when it was my first job. When I moved to Atlanta, she taught me everything. She ran the entire office. She was the go-to person. She was very tech savvy, and it was only like four people when I started, and I made the fifth person. So we were a very small, close-knit group, and she knew everything. But the company blew up, it grew, and it's now Comcast. But just imagine, it started off really slow, and imagine it getting bigger and bigger. But she knew everything. She knew everybody knew her, and she knew everything. So long story short, one day, after working there 5, 6, 7 years, we had to go to this call center. And I told this story once before. I don't know if it was on this platform, but long story short, we had to go into work on Saturday sometimes because we worked in HR, but it was in a call center. And so she brought her daughter with her. And so, like I said, she knew everybody. Everybody knew her. So it wasn't a big deal. But keep in mind, we were being bought out at the time. So there was people coming in and out from corporate and from this company that was buying us out. And so went back to work that Monday. That was a Saturday. We went in, and the daughter was there, and just a normal Saturday for us. We went back in, lots of doors closed. Doors closed, right? When you're at HR and doors closed, or if you're not, you even know that when doors are closed a lot, something's up, right? So I knew just instinctively something was popping off. I ain't know what, but I'm like, something's going on. And I remember my boss, we were real cool, and I remember she was just like, just be prepared. And I'm like, you can't just say that and not just tell me what's going on. So long story short, they ended up firing her because one of the executives who was with the company that was buying us out saw, the baby running up and down the aisles. Now remember, this girl had been there since the beginning. She pretty much built the department. I mean, everything. And as I mentioned, she had reached out to me like 4 years ago, right? Hadn't seen her or heard from her since then. We just kind of lost touch. But 4 years ago, that wasn't too long ago. And I remember when we was going back and forth, exchanging on LinkedIn, where you been? How you been? How's the kids? Da-da-da-da. She's like, I am bawling right now. She said, I am a mess, Kelly. I am a mess. And I'm like, well, is everything okay? She said, I've been looking for you. I looked for you on Facebook. I couldn't find you. I've been looking for you. I can't believe I found you. She said, I need you. I need to talk to you. Now, keep in mind, and I shared with you before, that I'm the type of person, everywhere that I've gone in work, I'm the person you can tell a secret to, and I ain't gonna tell nobody. Everybody knew that. Like, and that's always been the case, right? I'm a good listener, and I'm the person I'm the person that takes it all in, but I don't have anybody to talk to. You probably like that too, because like people attract like people, right? And so she had that in me. I would watch the baby while she would go out, right? She was the type of person that liked to go out a lot. I just never did. And so I would watch the baby several times. She would know me. She would sing songs, when she would go home, and Michelle would tell me, she was singing this song, right? I was listening to Kirk Franklin back then. That's the song that's coming to my mind. But anyway, so when she reached out to me 4 years ago, she was just like, I need you. She said, I've been a mess ever since. And the reason why I'm sharing this story with you is because her identity was tied into that role, into that job. There's another person that I met not too long ago at one of the last jobs that I had, where he was the it person. He was the go-to person. Whenever you seen him, he had people around him, right? He was the person that talked in the town halls. He was the person that kept like all the swag. I remember I wanted this umbrella that was like oversized. I knew to go to him because he would get it for me, not just for me, but people knew that he was the go-to person that had the nice t-shirts and the jackets. And I remember this fleece that they had for like the Christmas party. I knew to go to him to get it, right? So he was that person. But then when they let him go, he was devastated because he was the it person. He was tied into the role. His identity was tied into the role. So I'm saying all of this to say, to be careful about how you let your role at work identify you. Because at the end of the day, it's just a role. Regardless of the title, and you've seen it, you know people that are so caught up with their titles that they just think they the whatever because of their title. Even if it's not a leadership position, you've seen even like someone that's an administrator or administrative assistant that was the gatekeeper to maybe the CEO or VP, and they act like they the stuff. Or you've seen people at leadership level roles with VP titles or director titles that, you know, like they stuff don't stink. We've all seen that, right? And it's dangerous, because if that's how you identify yourself, if that's how you find value in who you are based off of a title, that's dangerous. Because anybody can take that away from you, especially if it's given to you. If somebody else gives you something, that means that they can take it away. But if you know your worth yourself, that you have given yourself, can't nobody take that from you. So be careful about identifying yourself with a title, or identifying yourself with your car or your house or your money, because it can be taken away from you. Know who you are, know your worth based on who you are and whose you are, not what somebody give you, especially not a title. Because every day, as far as I know, everybody has to get up and put their pants on one leg at a time the same exact way, regardless of the title. So don't let anybody treat you a certain way because of their title. It happened to me. I used to work at this company. I would say the name, but the people in the company were good to me. So I won't say the name, but you know I want to. But I remember going to this company, and I've been recruiting all over the place. And I remember I said, I'm going to go down, and I'm making this name, but I'm going to go down to Ralph's office and see about this job description, because they forgot to put the education or whatever. She was just like, wait. You have to be a manager in order to go talk to him. I was like, excuse me? Yeah, I remember her name, and I was going to say it. But anyway, she was like, yeah, I know it's a little weird here. And she was trying to make a joke. I know it's a little weird here, but yeah, you have to go tell your manager, then your manager will go and tell them about and I was like, so I can't walk to their office, which is right there, and say, hey, let's talk about the job description? She's like, yeah, I know it's a little weird here. And I'm like, oh my freaking goodness. I knew for a fact that I wasn't going to be there long, even though I was a contractor, and I wasn't going to be there long anyway. But should they so happen, like Cat Williams say, should they so happen to want to bring me on full time, and guess what they did? I told them no gladly. Now, like I said, they gave me a lot of business because I had a staffing company when I left them for a little while before my dad passed away, but that's a whole nother video I'll tell y'all about. But they were good to me. They liked my work, and they were able to give me some outside work when I got my company. So I don't want to talk bad about the people, and they're still there, so I won't share the company. But at any rate, it was just really odd to me that this company was so tied up into titles. I couldn't even go and talk, just ask a question to somebody in a manager or above position, because I wasn't a manager. That's how they ran their company. I don't know how they do it today, but yeah, I'll never forget that. And there was a lot of other stuff that happened to me that was weird. I told you about the time, maybe I didn't tell you, I had on some shoes. I couldn't afford any like nice shoes, and so I probably got them from the Goodwill. And I remember them telling me that you'll never be able to get a job here because of it was because of my shoes. And of course I left and I felt horrible, but now I can smile about it now, because I'm like, the nerve. And you know why? It's because I know who I am now. And I think about it and I'm like, why didn't I say something? I should have just walked off right then, but I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know who I was. So I'm telling you, right? Be careful. Be careful. about aligning your title to who you are and aligning it to your worth, because it can be all taken from you. Somebody said, if you allow them to feed you, you also allow them to starve you. Be careful who you let feed you. I'll see you next time.